I haven't done as many videos on philosophy, but it's something that has been a benchmark into a lot of stuff that I've done. Plato's Allegory of the Cave, basically, the story is there are a group of men who are trapped in this cave, and they're staring up at the wall, and they're able to see shadows reflected on the wall. And over time, the shadows that are reflected on the wall begin to become these guys' reality. This is all they know. This is all they see. And so throughout their daily life, this is the norm. Well, one of the guys gets loose from his chains, and he starts to discover more of the cave. And as he keeps going and going and going, he realizes that those things were nothing but reflections on the wall of something else, and they were a distortion of those reflections. They weren't even like, for instance, they're thinking they're seeing a horse, but they're seeing a shadow of a horse, which that's a whole nother metaphor within metaphor to get into there. But as he gets to the outside of that cave, he then realizes that the world that he's been seeing has been a false world and a false reality that has kept him away from seeing the real world. And he gets out and he's seeing that his eyes are hurting, in which in the Matrix, they throw a little hint to that when Neo is like, why are my eyes hurting? And Morpheus says, because you've never used them. And that's that, they were throwing a little bit of that kind of steampunk way into that whole allegory.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. I mean, and then when you realize this is like a couple thousand years old. So yeah, in essence, I think it's 4 individuals are locked in chains, and they're deep underground in a cave, and their head is even locked in place where they can only see straight ahead to the wall. Yeah. Behind them are some flames, a fire is a brewing, and people make shadow puppets, and they do all these little things. And the slaves or prisoners, whatever you want to call them, that are shackled, that's their reality. They're forced to see this from young to old, whatever. And then one day, one of them is released and sent up the cave into the quote unquote real world. And as soon as the sun hits his eyes, the sun is so bright, it hurts his eyes, as you can imagine. He's just been in a cave for maybe decades at
his
that
whole
point
life.
in time. His whole life, yeah. And so he's like, what the fuck is this? And it hurts his eyes. He's in pain because it's hurting him. He's like, what the hell? Like, all his reality was these shadow puppets. He had names for these shadow puppets. That was his reality. And so once he started seeing the real shit, real butterflies, real fucking rabbits, he's like, damn, everything I had been taught to believe was bullshit. And so then the hero element comes into it, because he tries to go down to the cave and tries to quote unquote wake people up. He's like, dude, this is all fake. This is all shadows. This is all bullshit. The real world is up there. And everyone laughs at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? This fucking shadow bunny is the real fucking deal. And they laugh at him and mock him. And
also add in, not only do they laugh at him and mock him, they eventually scorn him and they want him away. They're angry with him.
They don't want him fucking with their reality. And so that's Plato's Allegory of the Cave. That is super powerful, especially